What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about the top 5 most heavily shorted EV stocks in the market as of right now. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with stock number 5, you have Workhorse sitting at 84 cents. Thursday did go up 8.13%, and over the last 1 year, down 88.92%. More and more EVs are starting to gain some traction, plus a lot of just heavily shorted stocks in the market. You're calling for a lot of big squeezes. A lot of people wearing tinfoil hats are kind of associating Roaring Kitty with his symbolic December the 27th post. That is more so a sign that big things might be coming. So once again, you can kind of take that and research it a little bit more. But aside from that, 16.79% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 6.29 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost of our average 14.54, utilization 75.02, and then short score is 79.99. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. There's a lot of other good information up top here that I'm not necessarily going to go over, such as the DTC and whatever else. But there is roughly around 85,000 shares available to be shorted through IBKR. So whenever a stock does get on limited supply, that could be a indication that you might have some buying, as a lot of big names such as BlackRock like to buy for the purposes of lending out shares. So again, that might happen in Workhorse's case, but this is stock number 5. Moving on to stock number 4, you have Rivian sitting at 1404. Not much activity on Thursday. Over the last 1 year though, it is down 40.48%, but still shorts have been somewhat lingering. 18.7% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 139.16 million shares overall are being shorted. So generally, shorts have been lingering for a while now. So maybe they are anticipating some negative data. In the next, most likely 3 weeks, we'll have a lot of these entities unveiling their Q4 delivery and production numbers, Rivian being one of them. Same goes for Lucid, Tesla, and so forth. So that could be that next breaking point. So maybe shorts are kind of lingering around for that to occur. So we'll just have to wait and see. But utilization 66.92, and then through IBKR does indicate around 800,000 shares is available to be shorted. So a fair amount in that aspect. But moving on to stock number 3, you have Lucid. So this one's been gaining a lot of traction, sitting at $3.30, up 3.12% on Thursday. Over the last 1 year, it is down 23.96, but over the last 1 month, it is up 53.61. So like I said, gaining a lot of good traction. Despite that though, shorts similar to Rivian have been lingering. 22.55% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 268.62 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost of our average 1.05, and then utilization is 90.96%. So fairly high stuff in that regard. And like I said, shorts have been really just lingering for a while now, maybe just anticipating like all of that run up for Lucid to be unjustified, or maybe for them to miss on their Q4 numbers. We'll just have to wait and see. But through IBKR does indicate roughly around in excess of 10 million shares is available to be shorted. So if shorts really did feel it was not justified to run up, there's more than enough ammunition to double down. So that's why I like to kind of look at this information as well. But regardless, this is stock number 3. Moving on to stock number 2. So this one is an interesting one. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it. But Faraday sitting at $1.32 did go up 6.45% on Thursday. Over the last 1 year, down 96.76%. So I know on a lot of these videos, I don't really go into the finite details of what is happening operationally with each one. Faraday, I cover them under my other YouTube channel, Trending Stocks, usually calling out their BS for the most part. But at the same time, what really prompted this crazy rally in May was a lot of big names started to really point out that it is a squeeze play. So that's happening again. More and more accounts that have a couple 100,000 followers each are starting to say that Faraday is a squeeze play. So you might be seeing more kind of push higher, so something to kind of consider. Over the last 5 days, it is up 4.38%, so nothing really crazy yet, but definitely something to keep in mind. 27.34% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 11.96 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost of borrow average is 25.99, and then utilization is 99.06%. And just kind of looking at what shorts have been doing, they've been staggered or stagnant for the most part up until recently. That's where they did start to really increase right here, as you can kind of see. So again, something to kind of consider. As I've stated in the past, just more as a disclaimer, this 27.34% could be incorrect, only because if there is dilution happening behind the scenes, that would directly affect that. So again, that could be happening behind the scenes, especially in Faraday's case, but does indicate around 850,000 shares is available to be shorted. So this is stock number 2, and most likely probably the next big one to really continue the run up. Like I said, I think when it comes down to a squeeze, you have like sentiment plays a very big part. And if you're having a lot of big accounts, such as even Roaring Kitty or just whatever else, I can't think of the ones off the top of my head, but if you're having big names calling for a squeeze, you never know. It's going to draw some attention. So regardless, this is stock number 2. And then moving on to stock number 1, you have Mullen sitting at $1.06. Did go down 0.93% on Thursday. Over the last 1 year though, it is down 99.9%. So not necessarily the best. Currently, 28.43% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 2.51 million shares. Overall are being shorted. Cost of borrow average, 297.4%. Utilization is 64.17. And if you kind of look at this right here, this is a very similar chart, what shorts are doing with Mullen as they are with Faraday. Just to give you a quick overview of that. Very similar chart. So if you can kind of see this right here, they kind of just are stagnant and then recently increased. Very similar to this chart right here. And so again, maybe there's some correlation between who is shorting Faraday and Mullen behind the scenes, but maybe not. But generally, it's fair to assume that there is a lot of the same entities across the board, but there is roughly around 9,000 shares available to be shorted. So as I mentioned, whenever you get limited supply, you could see some buying. That does happen just for the purposes of lending out shares, because even just IBKR, they charge 136.58%. Very profitable just to buy the underlying asset, just to lend out. So this is your top 5 most heavily shorted EV stocks in the market as of right now. So give yourself a shout out. Do you own any of them? Are you shorting any of them? What's your thoughts on all of that? And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon. Launched it roughly around a month and a half ago. Give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers. One was actually even Lucid, where I did indicate at $2.18 it was a buy. So that one was a fairly good, close to a double. And there's a lot of others that have double or more than doubled, tripled, and whatever else. So pop over to my Patreon, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.